Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Space Program, where we try to go to the moon, not because it's easy, but because we need the science. Alright, so we're going to burn at 49, which means we're going to burn at 24 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Burn. My finger is on the cancel button as of this moment to cancel the burn. It's on the X. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I remember back in the day you had to actually like manually do the math for this thing. So it's definitely a lot easier now. Four, three, two, one. Okay, so we cut the burn a little early, but I'm gonna just slowly. I want to make sure we're coming on the right side of the moon here. We are, okay. And there we go. Now we still have, oh my god, about 1/4 of our fuel in this thing left. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. What I'm gonna do? Oh, we're gonna do near miss. If I don't actually do this burn, if I don't burn when we get there, it's gonna throw us out further, and then we're actually gonna come around again and have another moon encounter an exact week later. So if I somehow screw this up, I can actually get to the moon, good science, and then come around again 7 days later. That's actually pretty impressive. Literally, it would just be one full rotation. I've never actually had that happen to me before. We're going to warp here. I want to look and see how good our communication is. Because if I time this, we won't have to worry too much about this rocket. I forgot about him. Oh, this might be a bad little spot here. I'll be in contact with the other guy the entire time. Okay, so I'm going to add a maneuver. And I'm going to obviously bring ourselves all the way into orbit. I want to bring it as low as possible. 61, 33 now. 52. Okay. We might have to do one orbit or so first. Said it's only going to be a 13-second burn, which actually isn't too bad. We should be in contact with... Oof. Alright, so if we still miss, we still come back again, and we're going to be at 1.1 million. It's 1.1 million meters, yeah. So we would be about, like, there if it was carbon, which isn't that bad. And then, here's the best part. We would have another encounter. So we actually would have this encounter. We'd miss it. Do whatever science it is. Come in again and do that encounter. And then we'd have this third encounter here. So we'd be swinging in. We could do science, but because they have no atmosphere or anything, we'd just be screaming by. And every 6 to 7 days, we would be going into orbit real quick. Getting within, what, 136? Or getting within 300 kilometers and then scheming back out. And every time we'd be kind of zooming in around a little bit. So basically we'd be going around like this. And every orbit we would get to the moon. And it looks like it gets 1 day earlier every time. So that tells me that sooner or later, because this one is 3, this one's 1.1. This one, it doesn't say when or what, where it is. It just say that it'll happen. That's if we do this burn. Does that tell me? Oh, that's just saying that's in contact. Okay. Well, let's because time is going right now, right? Yeah, time is going now. Okay, good. We're gonna warp to our next maneuver. We should be within Kerbin's thing this entire time. So we have 13-second burn. So we're gonna burn in about 7 or so seconds. $36. So we're going to burn it about 6 seconds. Boom, right there. Three, two, one. Boom, look at that. Now, if I played this right, we should be within this guy's range when we're on this side. And we should now be able to circularize. Bring that down. And then we'll use that satellite to plot our landing on this side. Which, as we go further this way, will put us in communication with Kerbin. It's like I almost planned this. Come on, so let's get you a little lower. 36. 18's good. We're going to aim towards our target, which should be our periapsis here. I thought it was paralapsis there for a second. I'm like, I don't remember it being P-A-R-L. Okay. One thing we might do, we're going to probably be doing a live stream tomorrow, Kerbal Space Program, where we're probably going to launch a deep space probe. Don't know where it's going to go yet. It might be towards Moho. It might be towards Duna. Or actually, sorry, Eve or Duna. Kind of depends on which I want to do. And usually you want to do it, like, for example, if you're going to Duna, it's when Duna is like just a little bit behind you and then you burn out to get to it. With a lot of these guys here, you want to burn backwards. So you want to actually kind of catch them here, so you want to kind of burn forward. Problem is that you're actually slowing down. So you got to burn on the left side of Kerbin, and basically you got to burn out this way. So you slow your altitude, or so you slow your speed slower than Kerbin is, so you actually end up falling towards the sun, basically. Well, here you want to push yourself away from the sun. So, from what I've been told by a lot of people, is going to the inner solar system, going towards Moho and Eve, is actually harder than going out to something like Duna and Drez. So, speaking of, let's zoom back in here. And let's click this spot and say warp to next maneuver. And when we swing around, we should, boom, let that connect to the other satellite. Nice. So we're burning in about 2 seconds or so. Basically, we're just going to turn our engine on, count to 5, and then turn the engine off. And then the other satellite's in range too. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Killed. 43. We're going to turn the engine on now and just want to bring it a little lower, actually, than originally planned. 14's so good. 14 will be good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan our landing. So So I'm actually going to cut that short, let this go its own way, and then we're going to plan our first landing on the moon by adding a maneuver. By say, we're going to add a maneuver here. And we're going to try and land on the far side of this crater, actually. So about there. So let's try there. Later on, we'll actually get proper stuff to aim it. RCS is also going to be on as well now. So theoretically, we have a 3-second burn to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to click here and say warp to maneuver. And we should be within range. Oh, yeah, definitely within comms range of Kerbal. We also have the second satellite following up right behind us, which is perfect. Almost like I planned some of this, eh? So it's all in range. It's as if I thought I was going to be on the other side of the Kerbin, eh? Or the moon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Full burn. Cut engine. Alright. So now we're going to be coming in really steep. So I actually want to keep it this way. But now I should be able to say retrograde, right? Yep. And basically, I'm just going to keep this thing pointed at retrograde now for the rest of the launch. Hey, my love. What? Oh, where are you going? Okay. It's science. When is science not fun? Come on now. Like, look at the contraption. This is literally like a Rube Goldberg. It's like I had to hit there and just keep hitting the spacebar at one point, like a madman is being like, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Speaking of which, gears out.
In 10 minutes.
Yeah. Are you bringing Jamie here, or?
I'm just going to take him some soup.
Oh, okay. Are you picking up anything from Jamie? I'm going to assume my answer was yes. Okay, so the question is... Okay. Wasn't expecting that. Okay. Girlfriend's going to take the dog with her. That's a little weird. Okay, so... Oh yeah, there's the space kraken thing there. Okay, so what we're going to do is... We're going to look for a good little spot. I'm going to wait till we get to... Yeah, definitely over... We're going to wait till we get to about here. Because right now that right there is the rim of the big crater. And then there's the space kraken thing. So we want to get over... Once we're over it... So once we're about here... Once we pass that mark, then... Like, pretty much when this spins around to the other side, is when we're going to start doing our burn. I think that's how that's going to work. So once it spins around, I'm going to close it off. Then we're going to start our burn. No? That's not how that works. Okay. Should we start bleeding off? RCS is on. So let's say we're going to land roughly around here. Basically, we just want to keep pointing towards our retrograde. Once we hit about 100 meters a second, I'm going to hit the next stage of the engine. Pretty much once we start seeing cloud cover, or sorry, ground clutter. This next set of engines are on in 3, 2, 1. Why did these engines not turn on? I've got to try to get this thing off me. There we go. We're officially going vertical. Engine off. And we've landed. Boom! We've officially landed on the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, today, whatever day this is in the game, we have landed on the moon. Moon. Whatever. No major damage. No major badness. We're going to do our science here. We should have 4 things of science, but for some reason we only got 3. So, we're going to send our first batch of science. We're going to transmit the material studies. Transmit. We're now going to transmit the temperature scan. Done. We're now going to send the mystery goo and transmit. And I think the thing we didn't do was the pressure. Yep. That's 64 science. And we're going to send that. Now, since we also don't have a relay on this thing, meh, no big deal. But here's the best part. So we're all done our science, right? Boom. Engines are off. We're done. We're on the moon. Now, I think we can actually turn off and stay like this. We are a permanent fixture on the moon now. And I think, and since we are also landlocked, I think Kerbin is like directly like on top of us. Like it's kind of over there-ish. that it right there? No. Either way, it's just above us. And there we go. Now, theoretically, I could have landed, done some science, and then did a jump to another spot and did some science. I'm going to leave kind of that for a rover that has a dude on it that can run around and collect science on the moon for us. We also want to scan the moon to find out where all the areas are. And it's a little bit more fun trying to land a probe, and harder to land a probe than it is to hop a guy on the moon or even a rover and have it drive around. So the next one we're going to do is going to be a little different. We're probably going to try, because we had just so much fuel and things like that, to go to Duna. And that's actually going to be tomorrow's episode, where we launch our very first, hopeful. First, we're just going to launch a Duna probe. The probe's just going to get to Duna. It's going to have just full. It's basically going to have just science that can be done over and over and over and over again. There's not going to be a Kerbal. It's just going to be a simple deep space first planetary probe. It's going to go to the Duna system and then just stay in the Duna system. Then we'll launch a second one, and we'll try to get into orbit specifically of Duna. Then our third one will try to land on Duna with very, very limited amount of science on it. All just quick, easy to redo stuff. That's going to be in the live stream tomorrow. Maybe 2 or 3 hour live stream where we launch a probe into Duna, or to Duna. We launch a probe to get into Duna orbit, so that's 2. And then number 3, hopefully, a Duna lander. We'll see. All unmanned. The plan also will probably be to put a comm satellite in high Duna orbit, and then a low, like basically the satellites will also double for comm networks as well. Speaking of which, we're going to go back to the Space Center, because we got a ton of science from that, from all that. So we're going to come in here. So we want to unlaunch. Let's do. Ooh, we didn't get enough for any of this, did we? We didn't. Oh my gosh. Okay, good to know. Because the plan was to use a couple of these, but I think we should still have range to get to Duna, I'm hoping. Good to know, actually. I can unlock this stuff, right? Yeah, this stuff has the better... Okay, we're going to unlock better engines. I definitely want the better heat shield. And the better parachute for when we land on Duna, probably. So we're going to unlock those. That's the airplane fly-by-wire system, the Werner engine, advanced reactor module. Okay. Alright, so with this in mind, with what we just unlocked, we're going to build a probe just to get to Duna. It's probably going to have just a comm relay on it. It basically have a comm dish, and that's about it. Basically, comm dish, batteries, and solar relays, and radiators. That's it. We're not going to be trying to get any science from it. We might throw on a thermometer and a press mat. And I think since that's the only 2 things we have that right now are, we'll see, how can I put this? Reusable? Yeah, reusable. So, thanks for watching. Tomorrow, live stream, Kerbal Space Program, Duna Probe, or Duna System Probe, Duna Orbital Probe, or Duna Orbiter, Duna Unmanned Probe. Thanks for watching. See you guys then. Bye-bye.